It is Saturday, May 7th, and we have just completed another 14-hour run in the Eurovision Press Center. 18 acts from semi-final 2 rehearsed their numbers for the second time, and 3 Big Five countries, that's Italy, the UK, and Germany, also had their first rehearsals. We're going to go around and discuss the winners and the losers. Are you ready? Let's do this! Porig, why don't you kick us off with your winner from the semi-finalist?
My winner has to be Ukraine. I don't like it as much as I did the other day, but that could be for a number of reasons, because there's always that special wow moment when you hear it for the very first time, and I knew everything that was going to happen, so there was no kind of chilling moment, because I was like, oh, I know she's going to suck up all the light and it's going to explode. It's not going to surprise me. But it's still, her vocals were as powerful as before. The staging was every bit as magical. My only issue was she seemed to change dress. The last time she was wearing kind of this nice pantsuit. It looked like a dress, but she told us in an interview it was a pantsuit, and it was black, and it reflected the somber moods, but it looked stylish. Today she was wearing a blue dress, which still looked stylish, but I don't think fitted in with the mood of the song. It seemed too bright. Blue isn't really a colour of sadness, and this song is a sad song.
Yeah, Ukraine is also my winner, and I agree with you on the dress. I think the blue just is too uplifting. I mean, some people might say that her song is uplifting because she's remembering the past and the notion of perseverance, etc. That's one way to look at it, but I think the overall mood is one of dark, somber tones, and black fits better. Black is more dramatic. She looks better in black as well. I would like to see her switch back to that. I mean, I enjoyed this just as much as I did the first day, but of course, you know, on 5th or 6th viewing, it's not going to be as impactful, but I think for viewers seeing this for the first time, it's going to slay!
Yeah, I have to give Ukraine my number 1 spot today as well. I think Ukraine's performance is the only time that I've seen a performance and thought that could win. I disagree with the costume though. I don't mind the navy blue, because for me, seeing the staging, particularly when Jamala does her big high note and then, you know, the tree grows from underneath her and projects onto the big LED back wall, that to me symbolizes a new beginning, and I think maybe black sort of, I don't know, it makes it a bit more miserable. So I don't mind the navy, but her performance was absolutely the standout for the day today.
But you could also say the color emerges from the black dress, so from the darkness comes the light, hunty. Oh, final point, the tree this time, the colors are blue and yellow, which are of course the colors of the Ukrainian flag. Some might read that as a provocative statement, but I think why not honor your country? This is about, you know, Crimea, but I guess it is controversial which country Crimea is part. But in any event,
they should be allowed to use their own flag. It wasn't provocative when Denmark had a big Danish flag during Basim.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now let's move on to our number 2, Porig.
My number 2 would have to be Genova from Bulgaria.
So good.
She's just getting more and more confident. Her choreography is getting tighter. She's doing it shouldn't work. She's doing a chicken dance, but it just should be just ridiculous. But it just suits the song. We saw everything today because her suit was all lit up during her first rehearsal. She didn't have that every time. I was in the arena, so I got to see properly the stage, and just the effect when she has the choreography appearing on the screen behind her before the real people come out. There's kind of the coordinated dance moves behind her, and that's really strong. It's nearly like Jedward in 2011 had the dancers behind them on the projection screen too. But it's just a really good song, and it's staged really well, because we've seen other kind of modern dance songs, Spain, France yesterday, and they were staged badly. Bulgaria have done it right, and who would have thought it?
Who would have thought it? This is by far the best of that lot. I really like how now the backing vocalists, rather than emerging from random locations on the stage, they march down a runway in the center. It provides a focal point instead of, you know, chaos, which it was before, and it just makes everything fit better. And also their outfits are quite nice. They're also very sci-fi Matrix. It looks expensive. Bulgaria has done it. The dark colors, sometimes when everything's dark, it is boring, but for some reason they've chosen these subtle shades, you know, black, gray, a few spotlights that are yellow. It just works so well. But you know what, for variety, I'm going to say that she is my number 2, but I'm also going to mention an honorable mention, which is Switzerland. For me, Switzerland really, really grew in my estimation. Rika has gone from curly, blue-haired kind of crazy to, she flat ironed her hair basically. It's now straight and elegant. It's still blue, but it's also very interesting. She told us that she's actually wearing lingerie. She like collaborates with a Swiss lingerie firm, and that's why her outfit is so sexy. But she was more confident on stage, and she owned it vocally. She's been growing as a vocalist this entire Eurovision promo season. I mean, at the national final, a little pitchy, Amsterdam, a little pitchy, but now she's on point. So, I'm so glad that she's been through the hard times, and now she is standing tall on her own 2 feet. She's still doing the pee-pee dance, but it works. Chicken dance isn't supposed to work, pee-pee dance isn't supposed to work, but it does.
So, I share the love for Bulgaria, but they're my number 3.
Ooh.
My number 2, I have to give it to my homegirl, Dami Im from Australia. Porrick mentioned when he was talking about Ukraine that after seeing it now a couple of times, well, all of the performances a couple of times, they've lost that instant wow factor that we got for the first time. And, the same reaction happened with Australia today too, but the performance can still stand on its own.
No.
It will blow your mind how good Dami sounds live, how well polished the holograms have become, especially throughout the day today. They've finally fixed the camera angles. Everything worked today, and I'm very proud of Dami. I'm proud of Australia. I'm feeling very patriotic, and I'm going to come in on semi-final 2 day with my big Australian flag and wave it with pride. And number 2 for the day for me.
Get the man a kangaroo and get me one too. It really was quite good. Her vocals, she's grown in confidence. She told us in our interview that she didn't think she had performed her best. I think today she did. Like this really worked vocally. There were no pitch problems. And I think her dress, it looked even better today. I think the camera angles, it comes into sharper focus for some reason. Like when she's standing there at the end, this powerful woman with her thighs exposed and the dress flowing and all the light on her. It's really, really gorgeous. Kind of like, not a bridezilla, but she looks like a really sexy Asian bride.
And once again, like, everything was that bit more slicker today, because there's a moment where not a moment, for the whole opening of the song, she's sitting on top of this bright blue box. And then there's a moment where she's taken off stage, or not off stage, off the top of the box, but it's by stagehands. And like, when that's on camera, that was caught on camera I think during the first rehearsal, it looks very clunky. It's like, who are these strange men kidnapping Dami Im? So now they've tightened it up so that you don't see that happening. And once again, her vocals were brilliant. They can't be faulted. But I think, compared to Ukraine, it doesn't have that special kind of je ne sais quoi. I don't get chills. I'm blown away by her vocals, but the song, like, it's the sound of silence, and she's kind of incorporated that it's about social media, which seems a bit wishy-washy to me, but I can't fault it, but I can't see Australia winning.
Yeah, Jamala's in another league. She's got the personal story. The song is pure soul. She feels what she sings. She sings it. She feels dead. Watch our interview on wiwibloggs. She'll tell you all about it. In any event, it's time to talk about the biggest disappointments. Josh.
My biggest disappointment for me today was Lithuania. Oh, I don't know why my voice is cracked, excuse me. Donny Montel, I came in with high expectations because I enjoyed his performance in 2012. He's roughed himself up, he's gotten really bulky, and he looks great. I did catch the third run through in the arena as I was coming in to watch Australia do their rehearsal, and admittedly, the third run-through was pretty good, but the stage looks empty. He can't fill it on his own. I don't appreciate the tiny trampoline. I think it's sort of pointless. It was just a bit of a flop for me today.
Well, I have a few minor kind of issues with certain performances. Like, Laura changed her costume. I don't like her new costume. I don't like Donny's hair. But my biggest disappointment would have to be my home country, Ireland.
Aww.
And it's not that it's changed a whole lot since the last day, but that's probably the issue, that it wasn't perfect and it needed to be tweaked, and there wasn't any changes. And if anything, Nicky's vocals weren't as good as they were the first day, because the first day, like, he is no Jamala, he is no Dami Im. He's a boy band singer. He's sung in a boy band for 10 years or more. But he at least sang in tune, there wasn't issues. Today, there was a few. And then another thing was that so many performances gripped me. Ireland came on screen, and I barely looked up. And like, it passed me over. And that's not going to inspire people to pick up their phones. And I was so excited when he first got picked and the song got revealed that I realistically, I think now the only thing that can push him through is the Westlife factor.
Yeah, I can't even remember his performance. I mean, honestly, when you sit here for 14 hours and you see so many things, like you only remember the good ones. I don't remember anything. I just remember the color red and him standing on a sun. I'm really worried about him making the final. I don't think it's going to happen at this point.
Unfortunately not.
In any event, I don't really have any huge disappointments or losers today because no one kind of did worse. But I suppose I could say... This might sound strange, but Albania really improved. The first day, I was like, she's just standing there, woman in vast stage with nothing to do. But today, she wore this gorgeous gold gown. It was gorgeous on her. It was kind of a floor-sweeping gold dress with asymmetrical flourishes on the side, and the train was quite long. And she stands center stage, and the dress becomes a centerpiece almost. And behind her are some sparkly gold decorations or lighting effects, and it kind of brings out the dress. And so she doesn't have to do anything. She can just stand there and belt out her beautiful vocals. Josh, you said compared her to a beautiful Oscar statuette.
Yeah.
Girl was an Academy Award. Give her the trophy. It was fantastic. So yeah, I don't have a loser today, but I just want to give Annetta a special shout out because I love you, girl. And of course, we have to talk about the 3 big 5 countries: Germany, Italy, and the United Kingdom. You guys, this surprised me, but my winner today was the United Kingdom. This was very good. Joe and Jake have avoided all the cliches of aspiring pop stars trying to have perfect choreography, trying to have the perfect look. Instead, they're just being kind of natural and themselves, and because they are charming, it really works. I think vocally they sounded the best they've ever sounded. I think the staging, which recreates the music video with purple blue lights, is very effective. It feels very Britpop to me. I don't want to say Coldplay, but it feels Britpop. It feels mainstream, and it really feels now, which is very refreshing. And again, they just have natural charm. Their chemistry that they have with each other is so sweet to see. They kind of run down the stage, this youthful enthusiasm. Yeah, this of the big 5 countries today, this was my number 1.
It's probably the biggest winner, but I would still rank it as number 5 out of the big 5. But it just was starting off from such a low position because the song is still mediocre in my opinion. It's probably not going to come last like people feared. The staging is nice. It's kind of cute and it's quirky in a way because even though they have the selfies and they did that, Malta did back in 2014, they've done it differently, and the 2 boys have kind of a lot of charisma and they have a little bromance going. But I don't know, even though her staging was a mess, my winner out of the 3 we saw today would have to be Italy. Oh, and she was the winner because she couldn't be matched on vocals. And even the passion, she really got into the song. You could see it in her eyes. Like, if the clip had just focused on her eyes, you could notice it all. You'd know exactly what was going on. And it's just a shame that they've stuffed the stage with giant plastic ducks and feathers from parrots, and at the end she holds it, I don't know if it's a potato
like
or
a vegetable,
and there's a big sprout coming out of it. Like, are we watching Sesame Street? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and she was wearing kind of glamorous dungarees, like gold sequin farmer dungarees. I'm hoping that she's going to change that. I like this back to nature element, but I have to say, I was going back and forth about whether I loved this or whether I loathed this. She was amazing. This is the best she's ever sounded, and she really was feeling it. Her eyes seemed to be glossing over with tears. It was so emotional for her. But the staging, I love the LED, I love the tree, I love the floor turning to water, but it's those chintzy plastic knickknacks. It's like you're at a tourist shop or like a kid's toy box exploded. That's a little awkward, but hopefully with the lighting, maybe SVT has special lighting effects or something planned that will help that look less cheap and more real, because then it'd be quite fascinating. But for now, that's a bit questionable.
I liked Italy's song, but the staging sort of was a bit of a letdown for me. I didn't like the knickknacks. I didn't like the fact that there was like stuffed birds on the stage. That sort of freaked me out a little bit. And I wasn't a huge fan of the overuse of the scribbles on the stage, on the screen as well. I know that they sourced inspiration from the film clip for that, but they're not as prominent in the film clip as they are in this performance, so I think they need to pare that back a little bit. But in terms of what we've seen today, I'd have to give my top marks to the UK. That performance, it was good. It exceeded my expectations. Joe and Jake, they harmonised perfectly. Their voices were solid. I'm not a huge fan of the song, but like they're charming and they're cute, and they walk down the stage at the end and they're in a cute embrace, and it's endearing to see, and it's probably one of the better UK entries we've seen for a while. I think it will do fairly well, probably not top 10, but it'll do fine. Yeah, UK for me.
And that, of course, leaves Germany, which I assume is our bottom. The song has grown on me in recent weeks. Like, she's a great vocalist. We always knew that. And the song, it has a it does put you in a mood. It has a bit of atmosphere. I just wish it had more shape because it's a bit flat. If it had more, I don't know, mountains and valleys and fewer hills and troughs, it'd be much stronger. She looks very interesting. It's very Harajuku schoolgirl realness, and good for her for doing her. But overall, it just seemed there was too much going on. It was a bit busy. It wasn't cohesive. I don't see how the staging, the Halloween staging really fits. I know it's called Ghost, but it just, I don't know, it just seemed a bit cheap to me.
Yeah, because it wasn't the best staging even back in the German national final, and people didn't like it then. And the trees and the fog kind of create a mood. And then there's green lasers shooting up, and they're really tacky green lasers, and it doesn't match. And she's wearing this manga outfit or whatever. She looks like a fourth member of Dolly Style. And I'm no expert on Asian culture, but surely if she wants to keep true to it, she could get an attire that is more suitable, because we saw Nina, we don't like her dress either, but she managed to find quite a somber Asian outfit. So I don't know what Jamie Lee's playing at.
I'll be the first to put my hand up to say that I've never been a fan of the German song this year. Jamie Lee, she's cute, she has a great voice, and I give her props for sounding exactly like the studio version today, because her voice was good. For me, the whole entire production is a little bit bland. It's really dark. It doesn't build into anything. It's super monotone, and it just stays flat the entire time. I want something that excites me. I want something that is going to encourage me to pick up my phone and pay the ridiculous amount that I have to pay for a text message while I'm here to vote for a country, and Germany won't be getting my vote this year.
I almost feel like the staging detracts from what is a very beautiful song. It's like, here's the circus show coming into town, and so you forget the music, which is quite nice. You know, they could have had something very simple, something very pure, and then the message, it's a very strong message, the ghost, haunting, the tears and fears that come with the end of a relationship. That's all very deep and well and good, but we don't need the clown show. In any event, that's what we think. What do you think? Who do you think won the day in semifinal 2 on May 7th? And who of the big 5 and the 3 who competed today are on your list of tops? You can let us know here on wiwibloggs.
And if you want to see more, make sure to hit subscribe.
And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up.
See you later. Bye!